Welcome to the Robbie V Show. I hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's having a good week. There is a lot to talk about in this crazy world, so let's just get right to it. The fact of the matter is that Robbie V, the lock of the week, went 2-1 last week. And while we were hoping for 3-0 because of the Steelers, and they fucking blew it to the Colts, we'll take what we can get. It's a step in the right direction. It's not the best step in the right direction, but 3-0 is always better. But we're moving in the right direction. All right. First thing I want to talk about is obviously BC. Hey, Western Kentucky, they had Grayson James. He got it done. That's really all you can say on that one. He got it done. It wasn't pretty. Definitely probably gave every BC fan a heart attack. And they didn't exactly cover the spread. But you know what? Billy O'Brien and the boys, they got it done. And that's really all that matters right now. Defense played decent. Offense, they had tough sledding at first, but they eventually got going. Just the same. It's the same mantra. I mean, they're doing it every week. That's all you can really ask for. Thomas Castellanos is back this week, which thank God. I love Grayson James, but no, I'm all set with seeing him for a while. TC's healthy. That BC also picked up 2 silent recruits this week, so it's nice. DeBazio is doing a good job, and hey, what else do you want to do? Is BC going to beat Virginia? You fucking know it. I said BC is going to turn some heads, and they definitely are. So we'll call that for a win for the Robbie V Show. Secondly, unless you've been living under a rock, unfortunately, the Patriots did play last week. They lost again, which was quite. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. I don't agree with the whole Drake May right now. That offensive line is terrible, and it's not going to be good now that they lost David Andrews. So the fact of the matter is that hey, you got to keep sending Jacoby out there. Unfortunately, I don't really know what the Patriots should do right now. 3/5 of their offensive line is injured. They can't move the ball on offense. They can't stop anybody. Other than that, the team's great. It's just this season's becoming a real tragedy. I actually think they're actually lucky because, they're not going to face Tua against Miami. And for some reason, I believe on one of the lines, they were actually favored today, which was kind of crazy. Considering they can't move the ball on offense and they can't really, can't stop anybody. I don't know what you do. It's never good when Pop Douglas is frustrated. It's never a good thing. And, Patriots definitely are not in a good place right now. I am interested to see if they make a move in the trade deadline, maybe trade whoever they can get for value. Kendrick Bourne's going to be back, or he's practicing, which is great, but I don't really think that solves the problem. But overall team problem. Supposedly there was a report out today that said the team was near mutiny. Whatever that means. I don't know. It's interesting. Bruins and Jeremy Schwayman. Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on this. They traded Allmark, which is fine. I don't do what you got to do. Hey, you can't keep 2 goalies of that caliber. But you probably should have had Schwayman locked up before you did, because now this whole negotiation has just gone to hell. I don't really get what the Bruins front office was doing. They should have had Schwayman locked up and just been traded. They could have made a better trade for Allmark. I don't know. It sounds like Schwayman's agent really isn't thinking straight or thinking really at all, to be honest with you. And I don't know. Let's be honest. Goaltending is a big part of freaking winning hockey games. And if the Bruins are going to march out whoever behind the net, he's not going to be as good as Schwayman. It's going to take Schwayman a little bit of time to catch up on his what's it called? From training, considering he hasn't been in training camp, and yeah, Bruins really fumbled this one. It's a fucking shame, and we're paying top dollars for Beast tickets, so I don't know. This really could have been handled better by Neely and Sweeney, but I guess that's life. What are you gonna do? The other piece of news, unless you've been, and I guess Bruins management dope of the day, because this should have been handled, and it wasn't. It's a fucking shame. Going on to college football, it was an unbelievable game last week between Alabama and Georgia. Bama really came out and just destroyed them. Got out to a great start. Georgia, mounted a comeback. That Bama wide receiver is going to be unbelievable when he turns pro. I mean, the kid's only 17. That was an unbelievable catch. Such concentration. Bama looks the part right now as the number one team, or potential number one team in the nation. You got them in Texas and Archie Manning, who's just out of this world right now. He's playing out of his mind, and it's really going to come down to those two teams. I think Georgia. I mean, obviously Georgia wants another crack at Bama, but we'll see what happens. Heisman, that kid out of Colorado, I think his name is Travis Hunter. He's unbelievable. He's playing two-way. I mean, I understand you might not like Colorado, but he's playing great. Locally you got BC, which they're doing things. Hopefully they win this week. Other tidbits in the college football world, not really. Nothing I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, Florida State got fucking smashed against freaking SMU, which I had for the lock of the week, which was, I wasn't surprised. I mean, I'll be surprised if Florida State can really maintain any of their recruiting class after getting smashed that bad. It's really just a shame. Baseball playoffs, hey, I'm happy the Royals won. I have a friend out in KC, or he is a Royals fan. I love the Royals. A great team. They're good people out in Kansas City, and Robbie loves Kansas City, so it's a great place. I'm a big fan of the Royals, so I like it. I hope the Brew Crew takes it down tonight. There's another team I like. They're a good team as well. I guess going to the NFL. I mean, man, you look at all the injuries that are going on right now. I mean, Pacheco, Devontae Smith. It just seems like, or of course, that's just my fantasy team. It just seems like everyone is getting injured right now. It's making fantasy football really hard to play. And it's also making fantasy football not so fun to play, especially when you look and you see fucking 15 members, 15 members of your team injured. I mean, what the fuck? It's absolutely ridiculous. It's just not good. On a more serious note, I mean, I do love the weather, so let's talk about Hurricane Helene. Hurricane Helene obviously was an awful storm and Category 4 hurricane. Florida's done a great job of cleaning up. And unfortunately, how this relates to sports is that Augusta National has gotten it took a lot of damage, unfortunately. Hopefully they'll be able to, be okay for the Masters. But obviously with the situation that's going on in North Carolina right now, that really isn't that important. I don't really buy the whole Hurricane Helene was somehow guided by the government into North Carolina and made an awful storm. Unfortunately, this is just, if you look at not the models, if you just look at the way things went and where it dumped all the rain, hey, they were very unlucky. I think Joe Biden and Kamala Harris definitely deserve a nice wonk of the week. The hurricane hit like last week, and I think it was yesterday. They decided to put 1,000 troops on the ground in North Carolina. I'm not really that smart, but probably would have done that sooner. Also, I think their wonk of the week are just offering $750 to the hurricane victims. It's kind of ridiculous. Give billions to other people and other nations and whatnot, and we can't even help our own people. I don't know. It kind of just makes my blood boil. Glad I got that out there. I feel a little better, but what are you going to do? So lock of the week. Lock of the week this week is going to, I'm going to just tweet it out on Saturday and Sunday. Company went through layoffs. Thankfully I made it through, but definitely a little distracted. So I was going to take a beat and, look at everything tomorrow and I'll have them tweet it out. Just kind of the way it is. Felt like, I let you guys down on the Steelers pick. So, what are you going to do? I also have some tips. I also have some Robbie tips for apple picking. Number one, pick good apples. If you want to go to a good apple orchard, you got to go to Carver Hill. Carver Hill in Stowe, Massachusetts. First off, they have great apple cider donuts. And there's some lovely, nice, clean park benches so that you can eat them on. They also have a nice frosty apple cider drink. Locally, a dope of the day establishment to go apple picking is CSN Farms. They fucking blow. Place is terrible. All right, so what's wrong with CSN Farms? First of all, so much traffic. There's an insane amount of traffic in East Bridgewater to get there. Number two, Cost of a pick a bag of apples is like $50. So fuck that. Come on. Number 3, they actually check your bag and make an X so you don't come back and try to reuse the new bag. And they make sure you don't take too many apples. Whatever that means. They like inspect your purse or whatever. According to various accounts, on Yelp and other reputable, review sites. I personally gave CSN Farms a freaking negative 5-star review. Well, I didn't give it. I gave it negative 5 stars, but I only gave it 1 star on Yelp. I don't understand. CSN Farms is not a good establishment to go apple picking. If you're on the North Shore, there's an apple orchard in Tinsboro. You should go picking there. You could also go up north. I don't know the place off the top of my head, but you'll figure it out. Stowe Acres. Stowe Acres is a great golf course, but Honeypot Orchards in Stowe. If you like big crowds, you like apple cider donuts and people overrunning you, go to Stowe Acres. They got a lot of good apples, and it's a big crowd, so you definitely make some friends. And that's about it. I went pumpkin picking last week, So shout out to some farm in Holbrook. The name I can't pronounce, but it's easy just to look it up and figure it out from there. All right. I went pumpkin picking. It was good. It was a good establishment. I think it's Haretha Farms in Holbrook. And So also more of the month last week for September. Obviously, it was Steve from Gloucester and maybe Manners. Steve from Gloucester for all his crazy antics. Surprised he hasn't done a consistency podcast, but that's okay. He said he needs to take time, and we respect that. Also, I think Manners, because he got suspended from Twitter twice, he should have learned his lesson. And he called me a nothing. That's just smoking some pretty, terrible weed to think that. Get the fuck out of here. I did have a Spaces the other night. I would like some feedback on it. Would you listen if I did more, or do you not care? Or do you just want the Robbie V show to go away? Go the way of, I don't know. Go the way of the dodo bird. It is what it is. All right. And also, of course, more of the month goes to P. Diddy, who is just, every day something comes out, unfortunately. It just gets worse and worse. 120 people are going to sue him in Houston. Yeah. I can only imagine 2 things. Number 1 is not getting out of jail anytime soon. And number 2, his net worth is going to go down because of his $10,000, $5,000 an hour lawyer. So, good luck with that. All right. Oh, no. Yeah. That was about it for this week, guys. Kirk's doing a show tomorrow. I'm going to be avidly listening. I hope everything's okay. It's just been kind of a wild week in the Miniverse. Meeting the Minds was good. That stream on 12 hours. We saw a little bit of everything, to say the least. All right. That's it. My 15 or 14 minutes of fame are up. This is Robbie V, celebrating for you from an undisclosed location in America. Signing off. And remember, take care of each other out there. Thank you.